Hello, my name is Elise. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, I am so glad that you are here. Today I have a video showing some of the new tags from Trinity Stamps. These tags are a free gift with purchase if you spend at least $20, and a number of the creative team worked on projects to showcase these tags, and I wanted to share them here with all of you. So I wanted to show you how you could use these tags both to make a card and traditional tags, of course. As we approach the holiday season, we all need tags to go on the presents we give. Here is a look just quickly at the different tags that are available. So you're going to get a random tag, but there are a lot of really fun ones here, and I think that these will be a really fun collector's item. You cannot purchase these in the shop. You can only get them free with purchase. So there's that star, the coffee cup, these little scallop top, the kind of pointy top, the heart, the ornament that has the little even ornament topper. And then I'm going to use these last two, that circle and kind of that long strip version. And we're going to put the other ones aside. And first we are going to make the card. So I've got my card base already here. This is just 110-pound cardstock. And I've got it cut to be slimline size, of course, 8.5 by 3.5. I'm using some of these scallop panels, just the smaller one, to make a cut out of some navy cardstock. You can see on the side I've got some of my other supplies out already too. I'm just going to go ahead and run that through my die cut machine. And once that's die cut, I am going to take this Winter Hues paper pack and use some of this paper. I had a hard time deciding whether or not I wanted to use these stripes or these polka dots, but I ended up going for the stripes just because I was going to do a snowflake design and I needed something that wasn't circular. I needed something a little bit different. I've cut that down. Those paper pads are 9x4. If you make larger slimline card sizes, they'll work for you too. And I'm just going ahead and adding some liquid glue, and I'm going to glue that piece of pattern paper over my card base. And that will make an easy background for me. I'm going to go ahead and put an acrylic block on this and set it aside to dry, and that way I can get moving on the rest of my project. From here, I've got a piece of Bristol Smooth cardstock. I'm going to cut out 3 of those circle dies. I'm using Bristol Smooth here because I'm going to do some ink blending later, and that's my favorite cardstock to ink blend on. Now I've got all of my little circles, and I'm taking the snowflakes, which come from the Slimline Christmas Magic stamp set. Although there are a lot of different snowflakes that you could use from other sets as well. And I've just got these all on an acrylic block, and I've got some VersaMark ink, and I'm just going to prep these with my anti-static powder tool. And then I can go in and do some stamping. I'm just doing some random stamping on these. I did speed this up just a little bit and cut out some because I am stamping on white and then using white embossing powder. It's a little bit hard to see. So I didn't think you needed to see it all, but on all 3 of these, I'm just trying to get a random, stamping. You could make all of these so that exactly the same. You could also use so many different images. They're not all exactly the same. I think that this card idea is easy to replicate based on whatever you want to do. You could even use this for a non-holiday card. I just figured as we're moving into the holiday season, I got to get some of these cards done because I need cards to send to my family and friends. So we made a Christmas card today. I'm just going ahead and using my little tweezers, dipping into my embossing powder, and then off camera, I heat set these. Now I am going to do the ink blending. So I've got a number of different colors of Distress Oxide inks, which are my favorite for ink blending. I've got Tumbled Glass, Faded Jeans, Chip Sapphire, and Black Soot. So I have 3 tags and 4 colors. So on the first tag, I'll do the first 2 lightest colors. And then on the next tag, I'll do Faded Jeans and Chip Sapphire. So it's a gradient going down. On the last tag, I'll do Chip Sapphire and Black Soot. I'm using a little water media mat here to do my ink blending on, just to keep everything contained. And it's really nice because the little tags kind of stick to this surface. Just going in and doing my final ink blending here. And then we can move on to stamping the sentiment. You can see the little gradient here that I have achieved, and I think it looks really cute on the final card. I've got my Misty out, and I have got some sentiments here from the Tree-mendous stamp set. And I have the sentiments, "We wish you a Merry Christmas," and then also, "and a Happy New Year." Just going ahead and stamping these with some navy ink. It's the navy ink that coordinates with my navy cardstock. And I'm just going to make little sentiment strips out of these. So just stamping those down. And I realize I cut off a lot, but I'll use that scrap in the middle later on for another card. Don't worry. And then I just cut these down using my paper trimmer here so that I have little sentiment strips that will go in between my little tags. So here you can see what that is going to look like. I'm just using some thin foam squares here to back the sentiment strip. And then I'll use my T-square ruler just to get those lined up and make sure that they are straight. And I'm just using those tags. They're kind of a placeholder right now, just to be sure that I get them, get the strips in the right place and leave enough room for that center tag. On the ornaments themselves, you'll see in a minute, I'll use regular foam tape for those. It's a little bit thicker, so they stand up just a little bit taller than the sentiment strips. You could also just adhere these down flat too. Now, to finish off my tags, I want ribbons on them. So what I do to get these bows so that they sit perfectly on the top and kind of centered is I thread these like I would if I were going to tie this tag to a present. So I kind of just double loop through so that the strings are on the front, tie the top into a regular knot, and then tie it into a bow. So I will do this for all three of these and then cut off any excess on the ends. Try to get these bows to all be a very similar size. I tie these pretty tight so I don't use any glue or anything like that to adhere them on and make sure that they stay. But I think that the little bow adds so much to the finished card, and it kind of frees up that, or else there would just be a hole in your circle. Now that I've got all the bows on, I'm going to go ahead and cut some foam tape here and add it to the back, just a little square on each. And then I can go ahead and adhere these down onto my project. Since I already have those strips down, it's really easy to line these up right into their little slots. Now all I need to do is glue down that scallop panel onto my patterned piece of paper here. And that completes the card project. This one was really, really fun to make, and I think would be great. Like I said, you could definitely use these tags for holidays other than Christmas or Hanukkah or any religious holidays that you might celebrate in December in the holiday season. But like I said, I think this also makes for a really cute holiday card. So that completes the Slimline card project. And then I also wanted to show you how I would use these tags just for tags on a gift. Because I think a lot of us send a lot of gifts or give a lot of gifts, so we need a lot of tags. Just using some red and green cardstock scraps here, running these through my die cut machine. So I'm using that same perforated kind of stitch edge circle and the long strip. Doing a little bit of stamp surgery here on a sentiment that says "Joy to the World" from that Tree-mendous Christmas stamp set again. And I'll be able to use this stamp again as it was intended. So no worries if you cut your stamps apart. You can use them again, I promise. But it's just a little scary to do. I don't disagree. I'm just going to take some embossing again. And I've used my anti-static powder tool, VersaMark ink. And I'm going to stamp Joy on the little red tag. And dip that into my white embossing powder again. And then on the little green tag, I will stamp To the World. So I'd like this idea of layered tags and kind of the sentiment that goes in between two of the tags. I think that's really, really fun and clever, and something a little bit, that the person probably wouldn't expect to see on a tag, but makes it unique and adds a little pizzazz. So this is the type of tag I would add to kind of like plain. I do a lot of wrapping in like craft paper, just plain old, regular old brown craft paper at the holidays. And so this tag would kind of jazz it up a little bit. Just getting that Joy to the World covered. And then also from that Tree-mendous stamp set, there's a little holly and berries. So I'm going to add that to the bottom. It's kind of a perfect semicircular shape, so it fits perfect right there. Gonna dip that into my embossing powder as well. And then I will just go ahead and heat set these tags. Make sure all of that embossing powder is good and melted. And then from here, I'm just gonna add my twine. So this twine is really fun. I use kind of a silver thread for the other card, and for this one I'm using this red and green twine. I'm just going to use that same method that I used to make the bows, where I can just double it up, put it through the hole, and pull through on the top. And it's nice that the holes on these dies, I will say, are large enough that you can actually string twine through, because I have received many a die set before that the hole is not large enough. That will complete my projects for today. Please subscribe to see more from me. Give this video a thumbs up. And on your screen right now are more videos to watch. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll catch you in the next one.